The first sound I heard when I walked through the door wasn't silence or the usual clatter of plates in the sink. It was the distinct pop of a champagne cork, sharp and jubilant, echoing through the living room like a gunshot. For a second, I thought I was hallucinating. Divorce papers still fresh in my briefcase, hands trembling from signing my name again and again, I expected grief. Tension. Maybe the quiet sound of her crying in the kitchen. But instead, there was laughter, hers. Bright, unrestrained, too alive for the death of a marriage. I stepped forward, my shoes sinking into the familiar rug, and there she was. Dressed in a silk robe, hair loose, holding a crystal flute of champagne. She lifted it in the air, toasting no one, or perhaps someone I couldn't yet see. The bubbles caught the light of the chandelier, golden and mocking. To new beginnings, she cheered, taking a long sip, then letting out a sigh of satisfaction. Something inside me broke. Or maybe it didn't break so much as it bent backward, twisting into something unrecognizable. The woman who had once clung to me during thunderstorms, who had whispered forever into the darkness of our bedroom, was now celebrating the end of us like it was her birthday. "Looks like you couldn't wait," I said, my voice low, rougher than I intended. She jumped, nearly spilling her glass, then spun toward me. Her smile faltered, but only for a moment. Then it returned, smaller, sharper. "I didn't expect you back so soon." My eyes scanned the room. 2 glasses on the coffee table, one already half empty. My chest tightened. "Who else is here?" She followed my gaze and let out a soft laugh, the kind that used to charm me but now felt like nails on glass. "Don't be dramatic, Mark. It's just me. I thought I deserved a little celebration." "Celebration," I repeated, the word heavy in my mouth. "We just buried a decade of marriage, and you're celebrating." Her shoulders lifted in a casual shrug. "It was dead long before today. You know that." My fists clenched. She was right, in a way, the cracks had been there. Nights spent in silence. Arguments swept under the rug. Her phone buzzing late, face turned away, claiming work emergencies that somehow always required lipstick. I had seen the signs, but denial had been easier than confrontation. Still, hearing her dismiss it so easily, as though our years together had been nothing but a prelude to this moment, tore through me like barbed wire. "You could have at least waited," I muttered. "Waited for what?" she shot back. "For you to drink yourself into oblivion and wallow in pity. No, Mark. I'm done with that life. I'm free now." The word free stung worse than any insult. Free from what? From me. From the man who had built her a home, who had carried her through debt, who had held her mother's hand on her deathbed when she couldn't. The second glass glistened in the light, a quiet witness. "You're lying," I whispered. "You weren't celebrating alone." She froze. Just for an instant, but I caught it. The slightest tightening of her jaw. The shift of her eyes toward the hallway. My stomach churned. "Who is he?" Her silence was an answer sharper than any confession. The air between us thickened, heavy with everything unspoken. I wanted her to deny it, to laugh it off, to tell me I was imagining things. But she didn't. She just stood there, her robe falling slightly off her shoulder, her glass trembling in her hand, looking like a woman caught between shame and defiance. "Does it matter?" she finally whispered. "We're over. What difference does it make now?" "It makes every difference," I said, voice cracking. "Because I loved you. Because I fought for you, even when I shouldn't have. And now I find out you were already gone, long before today." Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't let them fall. "I was lonely, Mark. Do you understand that? You stopped seeing me. Stopped hearing me. I became invisible in my own house. And when someone finally noticed me—" "Don't," I cut in sharply, anger boiling beneath my skin. "Don't you dare paint this as my fault. You had a choice. You could have talked to me. You could have fought with me. But you didn't. You chose him." The champagne in her glass trembled, tiny bubbles rising and bursting like the silence that followed. From the hallway came the faintest creak of a floorboard. My breath caught. My eyes darted toward the sound, but before I could move, she stepped in front of me, blocking my view. "Mark, please," she said, her voice soft, almost pleading. "Let it go. Nothing you find tonight will help you heal. Just walk away." But I couldn't. Not when the truth was just out of reach, bleeding through the walls of this house. I shoved past her, my feet pounding against the wood as I tore down the hallway. At first, the rooms were empty. The bathroom, the guest room, nothing. My heart raced, my breath sharp and ragged. Then I reached the bedroom we used to share. The closet door was ajar. And there, in the sliver of darkness, a man stood frozen. Shirt half buttoned, tie hanging loose around his neck. His face pale, guilty, eyes wide like a deer caught in headlights. It wasn't just any man. It was David. My best friend since college. The floor dropped out from under me. My legs buckled. For a moment, the world tilted sideways, the air too thick to breathe. "You," I whispered, barely able to force the word out. "Mark, he started, but his voice cracked. He didn't finish. Behind me, she began to cry, not sobs, but the quiet, suffocating kind of crying that only deepened the knife wound. Everything clicked into place. The sudden excuses, the unexplained absences, the strange distance between me and David lately. I had suspected infidelity, but never this. Not him. Not both of them. I backed away, hands shaking, heart pounding so hard I thought it might burst. "You celebrated too early," I said, my voice trembling with fury, grief, and something darker. "You thought you'd won. But this isn't a beginning. It's the end. For both of you." Her tears spilled freely now, but I didn't stay to watch. I turned, storming down the hallway, each step heavier than the last. The walls seemed to close in, every photo frame mocking me with images of a life that had never been what I thought. When I reached the door, I didn't look back. I couldn't. The sound of her sobs followed me out into the night, mixing with the dull hum of the city beyond. The divorce papers in my briefcase suddenly felt less like an ending and more like a weapon, a clean severing from the people who had gutted me. The champagne cork still lay on the carpet, abandoned, silent now. A relic of a celebration that had turned into an epitaph. And as I stepped into the cold night air, I realized the truth. Sometimes betrayal doesn't just end love. It ends the very person you thought you were.